Hey everybody, it's Dan Schwester again from The Overrun, and I have a special guest with me. Some of you who we've been doing these video series to get people ready for the next step, for their next paramedic job. We saw a lot of you Friday night at the career support event that we held at Monarch's Education Building, and that worked out really well. Some people got some really good advice, got some practice in. And now we're going to talk about stress. We're going to talk about why sometimes we get nervous, we make mistakes, and we're going to give you some tips and tricks. So my guest here is actually my wife. Jen has her own business. She's a yoga instructor, and she's been doing mental health support for EMS clinicians and EMT students. She has a business of her own, Jenny Zen Yoga, which we'll put on in the show on the screen for you if you're interested. But right now she wants to help us out. She's going to give us some tools that are going to help us when we're sitting there getting ready for that interview, getting ready for that practical station. This is where you get tense, you get nervous, your heart rate goes up, and your cognition starts to slip. This is where you make your unforced errors. This is where you make the mistakes. This is where you screw up a drug dosage. We don't want that to happen. So Jen's here to give you a couple tricks, and we're going to practice it here. You can do this at home. You can do this in the car. You can do this in the waiting room. You can do this almost anywhere, and it's proven. It works. There's science behind it. Hi, Jen.
Hi. Dan did my entire intro. So welcome to our lives. You have come into the Schwester household. So again, I am Jen from Jenny Zen Yoga, and I've been a registered yoga teacher for about 2 years. I've been practicing for about 6. And I got into yoga not for that actual physical practice, but for the breathing aspect, because it's the breathing and the breath work that calms that crazy mind. And that is the true essence of yoga. The true essence of yoga is not to do a handstand or, contort yourself in crazy ways. If you are yogis and you do that, good for you. Namaste on that one. But it's about the breathing. It's about coming into your mind and being in that present moment. And that's what I'm here to help you do. Dan and I will both demonstrate for you some ways that you can get yourself focused, calm your mind down, and go into your interview and be your best self, because we want you to rock it. We're all here to support each other. And these are simple, easy, quick, and cheap to do. So that's what we all like in some things.
So Jen, we got these interviews coming up. There may or may not be clinical stations where we've got to demonstrate our skills and stuff. You know that you come in, you introduce yourself, you get sent to the waiting room, or even some people say, Tracy will tell you in the other video that your interview starts when you leave the car. So you're sitting there, you're thinking about all this stuff, you got all this on your head, you got all what's coming up and the events that we've all gone through. So how do we fix this?
You fix it with your breath. And again, as Dan said, you're going to start in your car. Before you even get to their interview place or you step out of that car, give yourself extra time. Number one, big interview rule. Number one, know exactly where you're going. Have it in your GPS or your phone or whatever you use these days. And give yourself extra time to sit in that parking lot and get yourself ready before you open that door. Get yourself put together, clean yourself up, and focus. So this breath can be done sitting in your car. You should do it for a couple of rounds before you even leave the car. And once you go into your interview, you check in and they show you where you're going to wait, because I'm sure you will be waiting. Start again. You can do it with your eyes open, with your eyes closed. If you're driving and do this, do not close your eyes. You guys are all smart, you know this. And also, before you go into any clinical stations, stop and catch your breath. You can do these techniques without anybody knowing that you're doing it. So we'll demonstrate the 2 breaths. We're going to do a belly breath, and then we're going to do a box breath, also known as square breathing, tactical breath. It might seem very familiar to some people. And you can do them using your hands, making sure you're following it and doing it. And you can do it without your hands. So it's always good to practice these before you really need them. That way you're used to the breathing. It's the opposite of exercise breathing, so it's a little challenging at times, but just work your way through it. You want to be sitting up straight. You could be in a chair, you could be sitting on the floor. Hands are where they're comfortable. Palms are down, palms are up, palms are in your lap. You don't have to do anything funky for yoga. And all of your breath is through your nose. So your inhalation comes through your nose, and your exhalation comes out of your nose. At any pace that you need, inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. And as you can see, Dan's been practicing this a lot lately. But if you really want to notice that belly breath, put both hands on your belly. Don't judge yourself. We are who we are. It is what it is. And on your inhale, feel that belly push out. And on your exhale, feel your belly sink in. But you're still trying to sit up straight. So inhaling, that belly pushes out. And exhale, belly button comes back toward the spine. Spine stays straight. Inhale, whatever that count it is, and exhale. And you can release it. So you can be sitting there in your chair, pretending to look at your phone, and you could be doing your inhalations and your exhalations. You could be going over your notes and doing that same thing. It's going to help clean out some of that clutter, bring your focus in. It also, I don't have all of the scientific knowledge that you all have, but doing that deep belly breathing is going to massage the vagus nerve. You know what the vagus nerve is, you know what it does, but when it's settled, it is going to get the parasympathetic nervous system working. That's what we need. We don't need to be stressed and on edge. We need to be working on being calm and relaxed. And so that deep belly breathing really helps with that.
Yeah, remember, gang, it's just like when you go into a hot call or you go into a cardiac arrest or one of these calls where you know tensions are high. Remember that it's your breathing, and we have to be the people to remain calm. And we do this. We don't even know we're doing it, but we do this. If you take a deep breath before you intubate somebody, if you take a deep breath before you go in the door or you get out of the truck on that big accident, you're already doing this sort of, okay? And, Jen's anatomy and physiology is correct. Good job.
Thank you. I try very hard for you guys.
Remember, we're getting intrathoracic pressure increasing, so there is pressure on the vagus nerve. It can potentially bring down your heart rate. It will bring down your blood pressure. All of those things are good for cognitive function. And before you think this is really crunchy, this is taught to special operations troops. So Green Berets, Rangers, SEALs, these are the reasons that these guys can run a half mile and then go shoot a perfect 100 on a target course, because they can control their breath, they can control their heart rate, and they don't have that adrenaline dump. That's what we're trying to prevent here.
Exactly. Dan has summed it up perfectly. And, from that yoga perspective, bringing your focus onto your breath also is going to help calm you and relax you. So that's how we look at it from a yoga perspective, but it has that scientific background. This is why it works. People have been doing this for millennia, but scientifically, we know it's going to work. And if you practice it, you only have to do it for a minute or two. It's going to work for you. But again, as I said earlier, practice it before you start going into these situations. Take a couple of minutes in the morning. Take a couple of minutes before you get out of your car and go to work, or you get out of your car and go home. And do a few rounds of that breath and see how you feel. And you might notice a little difference. So that's our belly breathing.
Now, we're going to do box breathing. Box breathing, I've always thought, is kind of more of a first aid. It's like, oh boy, things are getting tense. I'm getting nervous. I have to control my rate, but I have to do it quicker. So for me, that's how box breathing works. Like when when I feel like things are starting to get a little hairy, that's how I pull myself back in. Does that sound fairly consistent?
It does, and everybody's going to find the breath that works for them. There's so many out there. We'll do another video with some more breathing techniques. These are the fastest, the easiest, and the ones you're most familiar with. As Dan said, you're already doing this. We're just giving specific names to everything, but you do this in your practice. But it's now bringing your attention to the fact that you're doing this and how will it help you in these other situations where you may not have used it before. So the box breathing, going into that, is a little bit different. We're thinking about a box, and we're thinking that we're going to inhale for the count of 4. we're holding for the count of 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. So you can almost draw it out with your finger. Some people like to do that to help them count it if they're having trouble counting it in their mind. But what that is also doing, again, we're bringing our attention to our breath, we're bringing our focus in, it's calming all the other thoughts in our heads and helping us to lower that heart rate, lower our blood pressure, bring our focus into our task of what we have to do at that time.
Okay.
So some people find the holds very helpful, some people do not like the holds. If you find that the holds are stressing you out because you feel like you're holding your breath, don't do box breath. Go to that belly breathing. You could do 4 counts in, 4 counts out. So just realize that not every breath works for everybody. Everybody comes into these with their own situation, their own background, and that holding sometimes might be a slight little trigger for some people. If you find that's happening for you, you're not failing at it, it's just not the breath for you. Belly breathing, count 4 in, count 4 out. Not a problem.
Remember, the physiologic affects what we're going for. We want to lower our heart rate. We want to get our sympathetic nervous system under control so that our brain can function better.
Exactly. So anyway, so let's, again, for the box breath, and I'll do a few rounds with the hand just so you can see the counts as well as hear them. But you want to be comfortable. You want your back straight. Maybe just do a shrug up of the shoulders, let them down for a minute because you're holding a lot of tension in your shoulders. So again, everything's through your nose. So when you're ready, you good?
Right.
So we're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Keep going. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Keep going on your own. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. And then let that breath go. You can even finish it up with a deep inhale through your nose and a big sigh through your mouth. Let it all out. And then tell yourself you got this. You're going to do better. You're going to make this interview work. You're going to ace your practicum. And good luck.
All right, everybody, go get them now. Practice your breathing. Any questions, reach out to us. You can reach out to us through the Overrun. You can reach out to Jen through Jenny Zen Yoga. We'll put those up on the screen. There's going to be some more career support stuff coming out. Tracy and I are working on a couple other topics, and hopefully this works. I think it does work, and for most people who know me, I've always been a little high-strung. This stuff has really helped me to calm and to feel better and to perform better. So,
I'm shaking my head. Yes. It has. And we all use it.
Yeah, I get it off duty too, so you know, It is what it is. But anyway, listen, you guys got this. We're the best, okay? All we have to do is just go in and be ourselves, and this will help you do that. All right? So good luck. Work on your breathing. Remember that the interview starts from the moment you pull into the parking lot, and go get them. All right? Thanks.
You got this. Take care.